Thank you for coming to the weekly Western Michigan football press conference with head coach Lance Taylor. The Broncos are coming off a 14-13 win over Toledo and host number 5/6 FCS ranked Rhode Island on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Taylor, and we'll take questions.
Really good win for our program against a really good Toledo team, well coached and talented. I thought this win was the epitome of grit. We've talked about grit, and our players have said we wanted to be gritty in everything that we do. We've practiced that way, we've trained that way, and I thought that this win, the way we won this game, the adversity that they faced was really the epitome of grit. I'm very proud of our players and staff. They believed and fought for a full 60 minutes. It took all 60 minutes to win that game, and I think our preparation showed up and how we prepared each week or each day that week, and our focus and intensity of practice really showed up on game day. It's time to reset and refocus. It's Rhode Island week. Our mentality has to be, let's go 1-0 every single day and 1-0 each week. The question is, can we be consistent to focus on our process and not the outcomes or who we play? Every day you get better or you get worse. You never stay the same. So can we prepare and practice the same way with the same focus and intensity? This Rhode Island team is a top 10 team in the FCS. I think they're ranked number 6. They are 4-0. They won their conference last year, made it to the playoffs, had a big playoff win. And the thing that stuck out to me on tape was they play fast and physical, and they are violent in their intentions. This will be a great test, a great opportunity, and a really, really good team for our players and team to challenge this week. And, glad we're playing them at home in front of our home crowd. I thought our fans were awesome in the Toledo game. Thank everybody for coming out and being loud. I thought it was a competitive advantage. This week is our annual University game, which brings our community and Bronco Nation together. So we're excited to play in front of our home fans again.
Holding Toledo to just 280 yards of offense, and the pass rush was a big factor in that. The options that you guys have on the defensive line, can you talk about the difficulty that presents to the opponents? And then I think at one point in the second half, it was Dame playing middle linebacker, Tyson as a defensive tackle, then Rodney and Kershawn on the inside. It was 4 pass rushers kind of just in there at once.
Yeah, I'm really proud. It was a team effort. I'll answer your question in a second, but I want to make sure that, I recognize all 3 units. I mean, offense, defense, and special teams. It took every single unit and every player and coach to continue to believe and fight in that game, to win that game. Our defense played outstanding. I think that they have gotten better and improved each and every week. You talked about the defensive line. We have really good players on our defensive line. And really good depth. And I think that we are a defense right now that creates havoc plays, whether it's sacks, whether it's quarterback pressures, whether it's TFLs in the run game, and we're able to get teams behind the sticks and pin our ears back on third down. And I think, Coach Chris O'Leary has done an excellent job putting together a great game plan, but also preparing our guys each week for what the tendencies are, why we're calling what we're calling, when we're calling it, so they have an understanding, and then moving the pieces around of our defense so that we can use our strengths in different ways. You mentioned different guys in different positions, and I think that that's a testament to the versatility that we have with our players and the ability for them to prepare and learn multiple positions so that we can execute those plays and run, those packages.
Hey, Coach. Andy Pepper, News Channel 3. I wanted to talk a little bit. Obviously, you touched on Toledo, but from the outside, obviously, just seems like a mammoth win. You come in 0-3, first time for this program in over a decade. It's a Toledo team with obviously very high expectations, coming off a 60-point blowout win. Just, I guess, in summary, it seems like a signature win for you guys, for both you, your staff, your program. Would you agree? And if so, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Appreciate you being here. Great question. It's a big win. I do agree with you in terms of for our program, for our players, for our university. It definitely was a win that we needed in terms of, we had not I had not won a game if we were down at halftime. And I say in the 3 years that we have been here, we have not won a game when we've trailed at halftime. That was the first win where we had trailed at halftime. And so I thought it showed great resilience, great adversity, overcoming adversity, the mental toughness to be able to do that. And the thing that I'm really proud of is our players. Even when we were 0-3, they just kept believing, they kept trusting, they believed in themselves, they believed in each other. They also believed in us as coaches and what we were doing because we kept asking them for more. Practice harder, better focus, more, continue to give more and practice better. And those things are hard when you're not getting the results that you want. I think that's a testament to the character in our locker room. And it was a big win because you need a win like that to continue to build the buy-in and belief in what we're doing. And to win in that fashion was really, again, the definition of grit. But we have, the big thing is our goals are bigger than just beating Toledo. That was a great win for our program. We were excited. I wanted to celebrate our players. I wanted to celebrate our staff because it was a big win for us. But at the end of the day, it only counts as one. And if all we do is win game 4, okay, and beat Toledo, and we don't do anything else the rest of the season, we pat ourselves on the back and we get complacent, then we will be very disappointed and we will have regret about what we didn't do and the opportunities that we have. This win, definitely to be 1-0 in the MAC, to beat a really good Toledo team, gives us the opportunity to now go 1-0 this week against a really good Rhode Island team. And I think that that's the challenge. Can we reset and refocus to do the things that got us there last week? We know what our formula is now. When we practice well, we play well. It shows up on game day. And so for that, I was proud of our players, and I think it gives them tangible evidence in what we're doing. When you put in the work, the results will come.
Also, I'm contractually and legally and morally obligated to at all times ask about the quarterback situation. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Brock, if you would.
Yeah, I think everybody probably had that on their list of questions today. Brock played really well in this game. Brock will be our quarterback as we move forward. I think, what he's done, not only, in the run game, but I thought he had an excellent game in the pass game. He had 201 yards passing. I thought he really made some great improvements and great strides in the pass game. I thought our offense as a whole made some improvements. You saw that, especially, there late in the third and fourth quarter. We got a drive there in late in the third quarter to be able to put some points on the board to make it a one-score game. And then when we needed it the most in a 2-minute drive, under 2 minutes to go win the game and then get a 2-point conversion to win the game, I thought was huge. It'll give our offense confidence and momentum moving forward. But Brock will be our quarterback. I think his leadership, his ability to step up and make big plays when they're needed most is really what makes him special. We've seen that for now 4 weeks, and I think he just keeps getting better. Our guys have gravitated to his leadership, and I think he's done an excellent job. One, calming and steadying the ship so that there's no panic when things don't go well, but also making sure that he makes a play or has the ability to make a play, and he makes others around him better. And I think the best players that I've been around, they make the other players around them better because they raise their level of play and their standard.
One follow-up to that, you go for 2 and you make it, everyone loves that. But if not, and you don't make it, you're the bonehead coach of an 0-4 team. I know I read the quotes, but how much thought went into deciding whether or not to go for 2?
A lot of thought. A lot of thought went into that. And you have to make hard decisions as a leader. And one of the things, before we ever got to that moment, I went to, when our offense turned it over on downs and our defense needed a stop, I went right over to our defense. I said, we need a stop right here. We can't allow a first down. We get a stop. The offense is going to get the ball, and we're going to go down and score, and I'm going to go for 2 to win the game. They got fired up. They went out to play. While they were playing on first down, I went to the offense and gathered our offense up. I said, we have to stay mentally prepared in this game because our defense is going to get a stop, and when they do, you guys are going to go down and we're going to score, and when you do, we're going to go for 2 and we're going to win this game. And that's easier said until it gets to that moment. And we got to that moment, and it becomes, now what do you do? There's still 50-something seconds on the clock. If you don't get it, everybody hates you, and you have to make some of those hard decisions. And that's part of being a leader. That's part of, being a head coach. You have to make some of those hard decisions, and you have to weigh the risk versus the reward and understand and be able to look yourself in the mirror. My mentality and mindset is I want to be competitive. We came to win that game, not to tie it, not to go to overtime, and our players wanted to go for 2, even though our analytics book said kick the extra point. With that much time left, analytics said kick the extra point, and I think that's really where I was torn between what the book tells you to do and what your gut tells you to do. Ultimately, I went with my gut, and I really went with my gut because at that moment in the game, I looked in our players' eyes, and there was a confidence and belief. They wanted to go for 2, and they knew that they wanted to execute it. And I knew if they took ownership of that, they were going to make it work, and they did.
Lance Alexandrakopoulos with Wood TV in Grand Rapids. I want to build off of that. Making it a choice like that to go for it. What's the faith that you have in your guys, something you saw during practice throughout the year? How did they earn the trust in your end to go ahead and pull the trigger on a choice like that?
Well, I hope that was one of the things I wanted them to know was that I have faith in them and I have confidence in them. I think one of the things is they've earned that trust by how they've practiced and how they've prepared, and we were prepared and ready for that moment. And I really felt like we were going to be able to execute that play to make it happen. But even if we didn't, I was willing to go to battle and go to war with our guys because I believe in them, I trust them, they've earned that trust, and they have believed in me and our staff even when the results haven't been there. Even when we were 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. It's hard to be able to come back and continue, to believe in what we're doing and think we doubled down on our beliefs and our standards. We said we're not changing anything. What we are doing is right. We are close. We keep getting better every week. We're playing quality opponents. Just focus on the process. Just focus on practicing and great practice habits, and the results will come. If we focus on our process, and that was what gave me confidence. But I also wanted them to know that I do have confidence in them.
You mentioned that in your presser last week, saying they were doing the right things despite the results at that point so far. What is that like as a head coach, where you see everything that they're doing off the field working, it just isn't happening on the field just yet? How do you get them to that point as they did this last weekend?
That's really hard as a coach, especially a head coach, when your guys are giving everything that you're asking them to give and the results aren't showing up, because it's just like as a parent. You want your kids, and these are our kids. You want them to have success. You want them to go through some adversity so that they know what it feels like to go through and overcome some adversity and really develop that mental toughness. But you also want them to be able to experience some of those wins or successes, and that's really hard when you're 0-3 because you put all of that on yourself, that you are 0-3, and it doesn't matter who we played or who the opponents were. We're competitive. We want to win. We prepare to win. We expect to win every single game when we go in. And so no matter who you're playing, even though we played some really quality opponents and really tough opponents, 0-3 feels like 0-3. And it's hard and it's tough. And that's where this win was really big in terms of being able to overcome that adversity and them to see the process does work and you get the results if you keep believing. And listen, this win is not going to help us win another game, okay? But the confidence and momentum doesn't carry over. We have to continue to practice this way, and that's the challenge as the head coach now is now can you get these guys to believe in, hey, we played well last week because we practiced and prepared well. Can we continue to do that next week and then the following week and just go 1-0? And that's really going to be the challenge for our team and for our staff, because that confidence and momentum, that game doesn't win you another game. Overcoming that adversity and getting the 2-point conversion, that's great, but that's over. This week is a new challenge and a new opportunity, and that's where, what does carry over is when you get in the moments of games where you have some adversity, now they do have the belief and confidence because they have seen the results. That's where it helps you in some of those games, because they can rely on, hey, we've been here, we've done this before.
Andrew Graham, Mitten Football. I wanted to ask we talked about Raheem after the game. You said you obviously wanted to watch the tape before you kind of came to a full conclusion. I'm just curious how you thought he played in his first full game for you guys on Saturday.
Raheem played really well. He was one of our offensive players of the week this week, one of our grit players of the week. I thought he played extremely well. He was the highest graded. He played well. He played the best out of everybody on the offensive line, and I think that's a testament. I mean, in his first start against Toledo, really good opponent, really good defensive line, and a really, salty defense. He played extremely well. Handled his assignments from an offense, from a run game and pass game standpoint. But the thing that I thought was really great was just he was locked in during the week. And where I was so proud of Raheem is, and I told our team this yesterday, in today's day and age, right, Raheem is a transfer from Michigan. When we recruited him and he decided to come here, he came here to be a starter and to play. Well, that didn't happen at the first beginning of the season. He wasn't the starter. Jeremy Schleicher was our starting center, and he wasn't the starter. Most guys at that point, especially a lot of transfers, they check out because I'm not getting what I want. I came here to start. I came here to play. This is not what I came here for. And then when their opportunity comes, they're not ready for it. Raheem did the exact opposite. He stayed into it. He was a great teammate. He continued to practice hard and continued to prepare for his opportunity when it came. And now that it's come, man, he's prepared and he's ready. And that's a great example for a lot of guys on our team and for our team and coaches, just because of that example and how he handled that. He was prepared. Instead of worrying about all the things he couldn't control, he focused on what he could control. And that's why you had the result of how he played versus Toledo.
I wanted to follow up on Jeremy. I know last week it sounded like it wasn't a terribly long-term thing. He's going to come back, I guess. What's the sort of status with him? And then it's kind of a good problem to have now with, I guess, some competition at center when he comes back.
Yeah, Jeremy Schleicher will be out for the season.
Okay.
He's going to have surgery this week. We got the test results back. He and Noah Bishop, had knee injuries. They will have surgery and be out the rest of the season. So our thoughts and prayers are with them and speedy recovery. They laid it all on the line, and tough break for them and our team. But we have to have a next man up mentality, and the guys behind them have to be ready for their opportunity, just like Raheem was.
Yeah, I guess that was follow-up, is it seems like now Raheem becomes even more important to him doing that, really.
Absolutely. when you're the starting center, you're really important.
Joseph Hartzell with the Western Herald. I wanted to talk a little bit about the defense. You talked about the success. Can you talk about Chris O'Leary and his impact through the first 4 games he's been with the team?
Yeah, Coach O'Leary, I had a prior relationship with him. I worked with him, for 3 years at Notre Dame, and I got to see firsthand there and know what I was getting when we hired him. And he was one of the first calls that I made when I needed to hire a new defensive coordinator and started the list of who I was going to interview. He was one of the first names and guy at the top of my list. He was with the Chargers, so I didn't know if he would even be interested, but I really wanted to see. And for me, even before he got here, when we went through that process and he became our defense coordinator, I knew it wasn't just a home run; it was a grand slam. It was great, and I think one of the things that he's great at is he's a connector of people. Coach Harbaugh said that about him. Said that was the highest compliment he could give. But his energy is infectious. He is great with the guys. He builds great relationships, and he gets everybody to believe and be on the same page. And that connectedness between our staff and players shows up on game day. One of the things that I think we're seeing right now with our defense is you have 11 guys playing with their hair on fire with violent intentions every single play, and they're swarming the football. And it's been great to see. It's been awesome to see. And I just think that they've continued to improve each and every week. I think, this is his first Coach O'Leary's first opportunity as a coordinator. And he's grown and learned and improved each and every week. And he's come in and, he wants to ask questions, Coach, how can I be better? Where do we need to be better? Wants to pick my brain, which I appreciate. And that relationship that we have and trust that we have allows that to happen. But, I think that there's alignment and connectedness with our staff and with our players, and it always starts with your staff first. And I love the staff that we've built. I think everybody is on the same page, pulling in the same direction, fighting for the same things, believing in the same mission and goals. And their relationships with our players and getting them to buy in and see, be connected has really carried over, and you're seeing that on the field.
I know you talked about the 2-point conversion as well at the end of the game, but almost as big of a moment right before that, the 4th and 10 pass to Talik Williams. Can you talk a little bit about how stringing moments like that together kind of brings a new life to the team? Back against the wall, with 0-4 looming, you make a play like that to follow up with the 2-point conversion. How does that kind of breathe new life into the program?
That 4th and 10 play, a lot of people almost forget that play, right? Because of everything that happened even after that were big moments. If that 4th and 10 play doesn't happen, we're not able to go down and score, and we lose the game right there. I thought that was a huge moment. Brock made a great throw. I thought it was a great call by Walt, on a 4th and 10, which 4th and 10 is not easy, and against a really good defense. And it was a great call. It was really well executed. Brock did an excellent job reading it out and getting the ball to Talik, and Talik made a huge play and then got us down there with the catch and run all the way down to the goal line. And, Talik was one of our players, Grit Players of the Week this week as well, because of, what he did, not only with that play, but also all throughout the game. And I want to commend our wide receivers. We didn't throw the ball a ton in this game, but they bought into being selfless, being a great teammate, blocking, going in, digging out safeties, doing whatever it takes mentality to win the game. And they never complained. They never said, I want the ball. They never put their head down. And I thought, for Talik to do that in one of the biggest moments, to stay ready for his opportunity, was a great example. And that's why you have to stay in the game and play one play at a time and have that one play mentality, one play, one life. And he did that, and he made one of the biggest plays of the game.
Coach, you've watched that 2-point play. Did somebody do something extraordinarily well up front to make that play so wide open? There wasn't a Toledo defender anywhere near Brock when he crossed the goal line.
Well, again, I thought it was a really good play call and design. There's some misdirect. We had the motion with the jet sweep. Motion with the cross motion, and then Brock rolls out. He's got a run pass option, which he's really good at. We had just scored on a similar play, the previous play to score the touchdown. And, I thought it was really well executed by the offense, really good play design. And that's hard on a defense, with the misdirection and then getting Brock out in space with the run pass option. It really puts a defense in conflict. So I thought, I didn't know if it would be that open or not, and Brock executed it. It was a great play.
Defense had to make a stop there late after the 2-point play. And can you talk about the play that Aaron Wofford made on their wide receiver, Crosby, to break up that pass that would have put them in field goal position to win the game?
Yeah, Aaron Wofford made the play that kind of sealed the game. I was really proud of him. He's transitioned from safety to corner this year. He's played really well for us, and at a new position, really learning that position and continuing to improve and grow. One of the ways that he has improved the most is just his mental toughness and ability to reset and refocus on the next play when a play hasn't gone well. In the past, he's wanted to play, because he cares so much, because he loves his teammates so much and loves football, he wants to be perfect, and that's a great quality to have, but you also can't let mistakes affect the next play, and I think that's one of the areas that he's really grown in. Really proud of him. And, the coverage wasn't perfect on that play. They had a guy open down the middle of the field, but what I will say is that was a refuse to lose mentality, a whatever it takes mentality by Wofford, and he went up and made a competitive play to knock that pass out, and I thought it was a testament to him staying locked in and being ready for that moment when it came, because if they complete that pass, they're in field goal range and line up for a field goal to win the game.
Coach, Rhode Island has some transfers like just about every team in college football, but their quarterback, Devin Farrell, is a Virginia Tech transfer. Can you talk about him?
When I watched the tape, their quarterback, Devin Farrell, he is dynamic. He is electric, and he is tough. I tell you what, he has taken. I mean, he has given some shots, and you know, when he runs the ball and gets out of the pocket. But he has also taken some shots, and he is fearless. I love the way that he plays the game. I think he's tough as nails. He can hurt your run game and pass game, and he is dynamic when he has the football in his hands. And you know, he does a great job being a point guard, delivering it to their other playmakers. They've got a really good running back and a couple good wideouts, and so we've got our work cut out for us on defense this week.
Yeah, and then Antoine Littleton is a running back. He's played at Maryland and Temple. Good running back. Can you talk about him?
Yeah, Littleton really stuck out on tape to me. He runs hard. He's got great pad level. He has great contact balance and yards after contact. I love the way he plays. And again, their whole team plays with violent, you know, they're fast and physical. They play with violent intentions. You can tell they're extremely well coached. They have confidence and belief in each other because they've won a lot of games over the last 2 years. And that's why they're ranked number 6 in all of FCS, and you know, won their conference last year. They're 4-0. They're playing, you know, really well right now, and I think that that's a testament to, you know, one, the coaching, but also you can tell their belief and buy-in in what they're doing and in each other.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys. Go Broncos.